Hey guys, I thought I was going to get to this a lot sooner, but then work picked up a lot. And then we hired like 20 people. 20! So I haven't seen my schedule this bare in like months. Like, seriously, I have not seen it this bare. It's amazing. Anyways, let's go.
Rainbow Dash sputtered. What? Yeah, and we ain't the only ones that think that, neither. The balding one informed Rainbow Dash coldly. While we might not be important, my sister is the mayor of Cloudsdale, and she... Now wait just one apple buck a minute, Applejack interrupted loudly. Now I know you all lost kin, and I know how much that hurts. She strode up to the mustard-colored buck. I lost my own brother in this war. His name was Macintosh. Y'all may have heard of him. The mustard-colored pony had the dignity to look abashed. I heard a click and a whir from above. My host turned away from the argument as the text on her screen disappeared, replaced by a flashing warning. Live grenade detected. At seemingly the same instant, Rarity gasped. Grenade! Ponies began to scatter, running into each other, not knowing where to go. Rarity's magic flared around her satchel, opening it. Beams of colored light shot out from twin magical energy turrets which had descended from the ceiling. They struck a pony in the crowd, turning her into a burning pink silhouette of whomever she had been. My host looked down, scanning the floor, her actions seemingly unbearably slow. I mentally shouted for her to duck for cover, but she seemed transfixed. Her eyes fell on the metal apple not 2 yards from her desk.
Oh, that hurts.
The dark bulk of a large open book fell down over it, and 4 white hooves jumped on top. The book. In an instant, a flash of fire and swirling magical energy underneath the book, a cracking sound that left a buzzing silence in its wake, a rippling of explosive force that threw Rarity back. My host stumbled, disoriented, a ringing in her ears. Every pony was shouting, but their voices seemed muffled and far away. I spotted the black book. It had landed next to Rarity, smoking but undamaged. I felt conflicting waves of horror and relief. How could any book survive smothering a magical energy grenade? What kind of book was this?
The Necronomicon.
Thank the stars that it wasn't hurt. That book was dangerous, but it was valuable. Just looking at it, I knew how useful it must be. Rainbow Dash was fast. She flew up to my host, breaking her out of her fear-induced paralysis with the clomp of her forehooves. Lock this place down, she shouted over the ringing in my ears. Gather the witnesses and call the Ministry of Morale. Some ponies saw something even if they don't know it. Applejack was trotting around, calling out. Is every pony okay? Any pony hurt? She turned to my host and lifted a hoof as she shouted, her voice sounding like it was coming to me through yards of thick cotton. But at least the buzzing in my head was quickly fading. Call it the Ministry of Peace. Have 'em send counselors. My host nodded. Rarity groaned, getting shakily to her hooves and rubbing her ears. Quick thinking, Rarity, Applejack said, dashing over to help her up. I reckon you just saved a mess of lives with... Applejack froze, staring at the black book. Is that what I think it is? Turning to Rarity, a dark scowl crossing her face, Applejack said, You said you were going to get rid of that cursed thing. Dusting herself off, Rarity stared back.
There's a very simple lie to be said here. I tried. It doesn't burn. Like, that's the thing in a lot of, like, RPGs and stuff. When you have, oh, this evil book. Like, why don't you burn it? All you have to say is, I tried. It doesn't work. That's all you have to say. That's all Rarity has to say. Because that thing just tanked a plasma grenade point blank. If it could tank that, I'm pretty sure you could get away with saying, I tried. It doesn't work. That's all you have to say. Easy lie.
I said I would burn it, Rarity said calmly. And I tried. But as you can see, it doesn't burn.
Lowering her voice, she whispered something to Applejack that made the Earth Pony's ears shoot up in alarm. Then, raising her voice again, she added,
I even tried to have Spike burn it. All that did was send it to Princess Celestia.
I
That's
winced.
not good.
Even my host winced, realizing that couldn't have led to pleasant conversations. Applejack frowned, clearly wanting to believe her friend, but having doubts all the same. Rarity's guilty look wasn't helping. Well, y'all should have gotten rid of it, anyhow. How?
Throw it in the ocean? Then again, I suppose there might be like sapient races in the ocean. That's the problem with fantasy universes like this, where you can have sapient sea civilizations. Because normally, if we were in our world, just fucking toss it, and you'll never find it again. You will never fucking find that book again. You know? Well, in this universe, you run the risk of like some fucking sea pony finding it. Or, I don't know, dolphin civilization? I don't know.
Rarity retorted stubbornly.
I doubt anything short of a megaspell could destroy it, and I certainly don't want to dispose of the book where it could be found.
Damn it! Rainbow Dash piped up, unknowingly interrupting her friends before their fierce discussion could grow into an argument. Dash had flown over to the pile of ash which had once been a pony.
Whose idea was it to use magical energy defenses in here? A pile of ash isn't going to conveniently tell you who it was or offer up its former possessions for investigation. Zebra sympathizers, I would suspect,
intoned Rarity dourly, turning towards the very upset blue-coated Pegasus. Shouldn't jump to that conclusion, Rarity, Applejack warned. I don't like this blaming zebras for everything that goes wrong.
It certainly wouldn't be the first time they've taken a shot at me.
Rarity bristled. She looked at Applejack with surprise.
After Zakor's betrayal, I'm surprised you still defend them.
Just 'cause Zakor turned out to be a bad apple don't mean all of them are, Applejack insisted. Even though my host was paying more attention to the Earth Pony and the Unicorn, I was able to catch a brief guilty look cross Rainbow Dash's face. I realized suddenly that Rarity and Applejack didn't know the truth about their zebra friend. The reality behind Zakor's defection was a carefully guarded secret held by only 2 mares, and probably only the tiniest fraction of ponies within their respective ministries. Ain't like there ain't any other pony folk who might want to take a shot at one of us. Rarity met Applejack's statement with wide eyes.
Oh dear. You're right.
Well, if it was them who was behind it, they sure sugar ain't stopped me from getting to that meeting.
Hell,
Rainbow Dash blurted out, flying up.
for all we know, the target may have been that lot.
She pointed a hind hoof towards the 3 Pegasi cowering in a corner. What they're speaking amounts pretty much to sedition. Her expression was cross and grim. I'm beginning to think Cloudsdale needs a Ministry of Morale hub. Rarity looked around desperately.
That would probably be the breaking point for Cloudsdale. Ugh. Again, I know it's not going to come into the story, but I just want to I want to go on a Dante's Inferno type journey through Tartarus, and Dante. I just learned Dante's Inferno is actually part of a set of 3: Dante's Inferno, Purgatory, and then Paradise. I just want to go on a journey like that through this world's Tartarus, Underworld, and Elysium. I just want to talk to all these people. I just want to learn how do you think it was going to turn out compared to how it did turn out? I want to talk to people. I'm the player who talks to all the NPCs.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Lunch is off, I'm afraid. I need to get back to the image. We don't have much time to figure out what to tell the news ponies to say about this. 3 ministry mares. Oh, this is bad. We have to move on this now.
As Rarity magically scooped up the black book and vanished in another flash, my host finally began actually doing her job. When I returned from the memory orb, I was no longer on the secluded bench outside some restrooms where I had laid down to view it. I was someplace else. Someplace dark and cold. The black book floated in darkness before me. Just an afterimage that was already fading. A spotlight flared to life above me, its beam pinning me to ornate purple and pink marbled floor tiles as it destroyed any adjustments my eyes were beginning to make to the dark. I brought up my eyes forward sparkle, detecting at least half a dozen figures in the shadows about me. According to my EFS compass, they were not hostile. That only relaxed me slightly, considering I had apparently been abducted.
Yeah.
Hello? I asked, not trying to keep the annoyance from my voice. Who are you? What do you want? I immediately suspected they wanted me to do something for them. Some task to perform, some new distraction that would further divert me from my date with the Candlelot Ruins. If so, they were in for sore disappointment. I chose when and if I strayed off task, and I'd done too much of that recently. There was a clock ticking. There was a bomb poised to destroy this very tower and every pony in it. And damn it, I didn't have time for any games.
Is that a necromancer cabal?
The pony trotted forward, concealed in full robe. Under his hood, his face was cast in black shadows by the light above. But the folds of the hood made it very clear that he was a unicorn. And enough light bounced up from the marbled floor to recognize a mottled brown coat. "Greetings, little Pip," said a familiar voice that I couldn't quite place. The voice had the tones of a refined gentle stallion, but shied away from sounding too haughty. "We apologize for the rude awakening." "We who?" I asked, but I already knew. "We call ourselves the Twilight Society," the gentle stallion proclaimed. I forced myself not to ask if he was kidding. "Very enigmatic. And who are you really?" I said, biting back deeper sarcasm. "And what do you want?" The unicorn under the hood restrained a chortle. He whinnied. "Why, that is exactly correct. You too have enigmatic titles, do you not, Stable Dweller? Wasteland Heroine. We've been told that you are the savior of the wasteland and the bringer of light." I cringed. They weren't titles I had ever wanted, nor ones I'd ever thought myself worthy of. And now I was under a spotlight, being judged for a reputation I couldn't control and couldn't live up to. "What we want," the gentle stallion continued, "is to know who you are, really." I snorted. "And you kidnapped me to find out. You couldn't have just asked?" "These conversations are not for prying ears," another voice said from the darkness to my left. "You've already been to places you are not meant to be, shown things no pony was allowed to reveal," a third voice said, this time to
Do I
my
know
right.
that voice?
Suddenly, I was worried for Homage. She'd clearly broken the rules of this overly dramatic group of ponies to help me. What might they do in response? Murmurs rippled through the darkness around me. "You have used for your own goals the very secrets that we hold guardianship over." "Oh. I know too much, right? Is that what it is?" "That is but half of what this is," the gentle stallion said, addressing me. "We have been counseled to make available to you the full might and mystery of this place. We have not yet made our decision, yet you've availed yourself of your secrets anyway." "You are a risk," claimed the voice from my right. "Not only to us, but to all that could one day be accomplished with what we guard here."
Problem with that. You... Okay, you guard it and you protect it and you keep it secret. When are you going to use it? See? Like, when have you decided now's the time to use all this mystical, technological mumbo-jumbo? Like, it always comes down to that. Like, okay, when are you going to use it? Are you ever going to use it? Are you going to keep waiting for the right time? You fucking wanker.
I stomped.
Bullshit. I've heard that crap before. 200 years and you've done nothing with what you have.
Yeah!
I turned,
I'm fucking calling that shit!
advancing towards the source of the voice on my right. A cloaked pony, hiding under a hood as he hid in the shadows. He backed up, bristling nervously.
You're hiding your secrets away because they're special,
I spat.
and they make you feel special and important. Not because you're ever going to put them to use to make a difference.
10 Pony Tower is a bastion of civilization in the wilderness, the gentle stallion commented serenely. I would suggest we've done quite a lot.
Yeah, it is. But that isn't you, is it?
I rounded on him.
The only damn one of you doing any good at all is... I paused before I said her name. Is DJ Pony. At least she can keep a secret, nickered yet a fourth voice from somewhere behind me.
We are only the most recent inheritors of these secrets. You are unwise to judge us by the failures of those in generations past, the gentle stallion said. I frowned, biting my tongue. He had a point. And perhaps you're right, the gentle stallion said earnestly. Perhaps it is time for us to make a greater use of what is hidden here. But to do so carries great risk, not only from the greedy and the wicked outside our gates, but from within.
No risk, no reward. Better to use it and lose it than never use it at all. It took me a long time to get out of my potion hoarding habits. Like, but you're about to die, dude. But what if I need this elixir later? Oh God, it took me forever to get out of those fucking habits.
Who can we trust to guide the use of this power and these resources? Who can we know will not become corrupted by it?
I sighed heavily. What do you want from me? I asked. How can I persuade you that I'm not going to become the next Red Eye if I'm given a little help?
Your memories.
I jolted with a shock. What?
You had several days of memories extracted earlier today, from within our secluded chambers. We require access to those memories.
They wanted my memories? A chunk of my life. One that even I didn't know the contents of. No, I stomped. Those are my memories. They're private.
We could ask who you are, but you would only tell us what you want us to hear. The perceptions of others are fragments and heavily colored by their own perceptions. How better could we possibly learn of who you really are?
I fumed. I didn't want to trust something so precious to these strangers. I didn't trust them. I trusted Homage. That was all. Plus, it felt wrong.
Trust something so precious to strangers. And I kind of forgot what they're offering her. Like, what is it exactly that they're giving her? So I don't know how precious it is, but I see it's the reverse thing. She wants something they consider really precious and special. So, yeah. Okay, I get it. Really, that's clever, K-Cat. Really clever.
Violation. Which I knew was hypocritical at best, considering how much time I'd spent prying into the memories of others. The voice on my left intoned. We already know that Red Eye is threatening this tower and the lives of every pony in it to motivate you. If you are playing with our lives, do you not think we at least deserve to know what the score is? I stopped fuming, considering that. Finally, I took a deep breath. Will I get them back? If the answer was no, this deal was off. And if necessary, I would fight my way out of here.
Do you still have your guns?
The gentle stallion told me. Fine. Then yes, but on two conditions. Underneath his robe, the gentle stallion cocked his head.
And what conditions would those be?
1. The memories do not leave Homage's possession. I trust her to guard them. So far, I have no reason to trust any of the rest of you.
Agreed. And 2.
Homage continues to live here as long as she wants, save from any repercussions for having helped me or for revealing what she did. More murmurs. Unhappy ones, I noted. Non-negotiable, I said. I hoped I had this card to play. What if they decided that they really weren't that interested in me after all? But the gentle stallion answered.
Agreed.
I felt a sigh of relief.
Conditionally.
I felt my heart skip a beat.
Of course.
The robed pony elaborated.
No actions will be taken against Homage until all of us have had the opportunity to review the orbs. Should what they reveal of your character and methods persuade us to deem you an asset rather than a threat, then no action will be taken against her and record of her misdeeds will be expunged. If, however, your memories prove you are a menace to our society or this tower as a whole, then Homage will be judged accordingly. I knew that by agreeing to this, I would be putting my memories in jeopardy, running the risk that I might never see them. But in the end, what else could I do? My memories were a small price to pay compared to the potential rewards.
There's also the fact that what they find, like, I know it's not going to be, but I always love the idea that what they find is so fucking horrifying that instead of trying to scoop her, like, yeah, take it, take it, it's fine. Like, you know, that's always the risk. I mean, they're worried they might find she's all like some sort of horrific monster pony. But what if they find out she is the horrific monster pony? Like, what's your plan? Are you going to run the risk of her coming back and killing you all? Like, that's always the question, right? Like, well, what if it is what I fear? Do I kick her out, or would she just come back and kill me? Like, should I help her out? I don't know. That's always the risk with trying to find out if someone's actually a crazy psycho murderer.
I prayed that I had at least a shred of the sort of character that...
Which Little Pip technically is. She's just a psychotic murderer for justice.
that DJ Pony attributed to me. I was relying on myself to have been a decent pony. I was given the memory orb again, and instructed to lose myself in it while they returned me back to the bench they took me from. All of which seemed utterly silly to me, but I went along anyway. I suspected Life Bloom was with them, and that made me feel just a touch safer, if only because Amajan Velvet seemed to think well of him. When I came out of the memory orb for the second time, the feeling of deja vu was almost enough to make me wonder if I had imagined the Twilight Society. I wondered how often ponies in Ten Pony Tower suddenly found their days interrupted, and what the Twilight Society used when there wasn't a convenient memory orb in play. Revisiting the orb in the wake of my odd abduction had left me thinking about secrets, about the dissemination of information. Covert operations depend on secrecy for the safety of those involved, but it seemed cruel for Rainbow Dash and Pinkie Pie to leave Applejack and Rarity in the dark about Zecora, believing that a close friend of theirs had betrayed them. Was it necessary to cause them that pain? Could they have been trusted with this secret? Everything I had seen suggested that Rarity was well practiced in keeping secrets. But Applejack? How convincing could the bearer of the element of honesty be if put into a position where she had to maintain a lie? Was it better for every pony, and one zebra, that she not know? I packed up the memory orb, checking my pit buck to make sure the other one was still with me, and all my equipment was still in its proper place. Then, getting up, I started to walk down the hallway, away from the bathrooms. My mind was still engaged in contemplation. Likewise, it was clear from several previous memories that the mayors all knew the truth about zebra religion, or at least knew enough about their beliefs regarding Nightmare Moon to try to use them against them. But Steelhooves had been blindsided by the idea. Clearly, a decision had been made by the heads of government not to inform the general population, or even the lower ranks. I found
That's mail.
myself second-guessing
check
that
it out
decision,
after.
even though I could understand why. How demoralizing would that knowledge have been?
No. No. Wait. How long do I have that up? I'm going to end the video and check.